Puffy hung motionless in the center of a vast, brilliant blue sky. While other clouds raced past in fluffy white streaks, Puffy remained anchored above a single, quiet meadow. He was small, barely the size of a cotton ball, and he retreated into himself whenever the breeze grew too strong. He gripped the air, holding his position with a desperate, silent tension. One morning, the sun broke through the horizon, its golden light warming Puffy until he glowed. The warmth seeped into his edges, making him feel expansive, yet he pulled himself tighter. "Puffy, why stay in one place when the world is waiting?" the sun asked. Puffy shrank, pulling his edges inward until he felt dense and cold despite the light. "I am too small," he replied, his voice barely a whisper. "What if I drift away and never find my way back?" He looked down at the meadow, his only anchor, and refused to let go. Suddenly, the wind whipped around him, spinning him in a playful circle. The air pressure shifted, tugging at his edges. "I will guide you," the wind whistled, a sharp, insistent sound that cut through the silence. Puffy hesitated, his core trembling. Then he loosened his grip on the air. The sensation of falling forward replaced the safety of his stationary anchor. He began to drift, accelerating as the wind pushed him toward the horizon. The meadow shrank into a tiny green speck, then vanished entirely. Below, the world opened up in a rush of color and texture. He passed over dark, dense forests where the trees huddled together like a thick, emerald carpet. The air grew thinner and colder as he rose, drifting over jagged, snow-capped mountain peaks that clawed at the sky. He felt the bite of the frost against his edges, but he did not shrink. He watched, mesmerized, as the landscape shifted from deep green to earthy brown. Rivers shimmered like silver ribbons, winding through the valleys far beneath him. Every mile he covered pulled him further from his fear. The wind slowed its pace, circling downward until the vibrant colors of the forest faded into a dull, dusty haze. They arrived over a parched village, a place where the earth had forgotten the touch of water. The ground was mapped with deep, jagged cracks, and the stalks of corn bowed their heads in exhaustion, their leaves brittle and brown. Puffy hovered, his soft white form stark against the relentless, scorching sky. Below him, the silence was heavy. People stood in the fields, their bodies hunched, faces turned upward toward the empty, burning blue. They were waiting, their eyes searching the horizon for a shadow that never came. "They need rain," the wind whispered. Puffy looked down at his own small, pale form, his edges trembling in the shimmering air. "I am not enough," he said. He tried to pull back, to drift away, but the sky held him fast. He was trapped in the center of their desperation. The sun shone brighter, casting a concentrated beam of warmth directly onto Puffy. It was a command, not a suggestion. Puffy closed his eyes, bracing himself against the void. He pushed his energy outward, forcing his molecules to bind and thicken. His soft, white edges curdled, turning a deep, heavy gray. He gathered every drop of moisture he had collected across the miles, pulling his center tight until he felt the weight of his own existence. He was no longer a wisp. He was a vessel. He squeezed, and the first drop struck the dust with a sharp, percussive sound. Drip, drop, drip. The rhythm accelerated into a steady, relentless downpour. Below, the villagers broke their stillness, running from their homes with palms upturned. The dry, cracked earth drank greedily, turning from pale gray to a rich, fertile black. Flowers in the gardens snapped upright. Puffy looked down, his gray form thinning and fading as he poured his entire essence into the land. He felt lighter with every drop. The heavy gray weight had vanished, leaving Puffy thin, translucent, and drifting on a gentle thermal. He was small again, but the trembling had stopped. He looked back at the valley. The dust was gone, replaced by the dark, glistening sheen of wet earth and the vibrant green of reviving fields. He was not empty. He was fulfilled. The fear of drifting away, which once kept him anchored to a single meadow, had dissolved into the clear, open air. He turned his face toward the distant horizon. Wind nudged him, a soft, guiding pressure against his side. Puffy did not pull inward. He caught the current, stretching his form to match the steady flow of the breeze. He was no longer a fragment hiding in the corner of the sky. He moved with intent, gliding over the landscape he had saved. Every mile ahead was a new opportunity to gather, to grow, and to give. He belonged to the sky now, a traveler with a purpose, moving steadily toward the golden light of the setting sun.